Good night of Shabbos. This week, till Wednesday afternoon, we will be commemorating the destruction of the first and second temples, holy temples that were on Mount Moriah in Jerusalem. The temple was destroyed 1945 years ago, according to our calculations. According to Maimonides, 1944. According to historians, 1943. There's a disparity of 1 to 2 years, depending upon how we reckon the days and the years. During this period of time, we Jews are saddened by not only the memories of the destruction and the murders and the deaths of so many people that led to the destruction of tens of millions of the Jewish people. Why do I say tens of millions? At the time of the Churban, at the time of the destruction of the temple, there were 8+ million Jews who lived in the Roman Empire. 1 out of every 10 Roman Empire citizens was a Jew. Together with this, there were also millions of Romans and Roman subjects that wanted to become Jewish. The reason why Christianity took over Europe through the Roman Empire was because the Romans really wanted to become Jewish. Paul came along and sold them that they don't really have to do the commandments in order to be Jewish. They just have to believe in the Jewish Messiah. And this, of course, was easy Judaism and took hold immediately. And there was a blend not just of Jewish ideas, but of Sadducean and pagan ideas that came into develop the ideology of Christianity. But the destruction of the temple took place 1945 years ago. We were at the time 4% of the world's population. Today, the Jewish people are 1/5 of 1% of the world's population. What happened? A lot of Jews assimilated, that's true. But a lot more were killed. If we project 30 times as many Jews as there were at the time of the temple, because there are about 30+ times as many people today, the Jewish people would number 240 million. What happened? Not everybody assimilated. Most of them were killed by anti-Semitic violence. That's why in some of these video comments, I tell people that tens of millions of Jews were killed in the name of Christianity. This didn't happen all at once, but it happened over many, many years. And the results are that there's at least 100 to 150, maybe 200 million less Jews in the world because of these persecutions. The same persecutions also, similar persecutions, were in the Arab world, but for less time and for the most part less violent. And the reason for that is the Muslims were happy that the Jews were dhimmis. That is, that they were second-class citizens, worse than the blacks were treated under Jim Crow in the South. Of course, it wasn't as bad as slavery, but it was second-class citizenship, which demeans the person. If a Jew is walking the street and a Muslim is walking on the same street, the Jew would have to get off the curb to walk lower than the Muslim. Jews were expected to pay taxes over and above whatever the taxes were for the individual, special dhimmi tax. In many places, especially Yemen, if a Jewish father died young, his young children would be kidnapped and converted to Islam because the only reason why they're not converting to Islam is because they're being forced by their father. Now the father's dead, anybody can go ahead and take them and get them to the religion of peace. And lest you think that there are few, these kidnappings numbered over the years in the tens and hundreds of thousands. And a lot of the so-called Yemenites, a lot of the so-called Arabs, a lot of the so-called Afghanis really come from Jews who were forced in one form or another to take on Islam. And so as we commemorate the destruction of the temple, we realize just how many people this affected. The numbers are staggering. So what are we supposed to do about it? We're supposed to try to negate it. Is there a light at the end of the tunnel? The answer is yes. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. It's beginning to shine right now. Just yesterday there was a report from Canada. Canada declared that it is a violation of Canadian law to be anti-Semitic. Anti-Semitism is equated with anti-Zionism. The rights of the Jewish people to come back to their land were affirmed by the Canadian government. This comes in hand in glove with a report by a former KGB agent who revealed that it was Yuri Andropov, who happened to be halakhically Jewish. Yuri Andropov was the one who started this blood libel that America is the supporter of Zionism and that Jews control the American government, and that the purpose of the Jews controlling the American government is to rain a nuclear holocaust on the Arab Middle East. This is what Andropov sold. And the Jews and the Americans were castigated into the villains, when in fact the Jewish people were the victims of Arab aggression, not just starting in 1948, but starting much earlier.